Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker. And in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about Bill 60. So Bill 60 had a couple of different components inside of it. One of the components, or the one I want to cover actually, has to do with the landlord-tenant board. So there were some things that the Ford government brought forward to actually help landlords in this scenario. One of the things that they brought forward was to try to eliminate rent control on all the properties. So you may know this already, but I believe it's November 15th, 2018. And before that time, if you had a property that was constructed and occupied before that time, then that property is under rent control. That means that the landlord-tenant board each year basically dictates the maximum you can increase that property's rent. And so the Ford government, included in that Bill 60, had to basically abolish this thing. So you can basically treat it like properties that were built after that time frame, and it doesn't have like a requirement coming or a maximum that you can actually raise it by. So that was one of the changes that they were proposing. The other thing that they were looking at doing in this over here is that when you sign a lease in Ontario, you're really signing a 12-month contract. But what happens at the end of that 12 months is that that lease automatically goes to a month-to-month. So what they were bringing forward is that to basically cap it at that 12 months. And if you do a further extension, it would be a new lease. And maybe you don't have to do a full 12 months. Maybe you could do 4 months or 8 months or whatever you agree upon. But it wouldn't be something that just continues to go on its own. The other thing that they were trying to do is that if you wanted to get the property back for yourself, like if you were an owner that had rented out a property, you wanted to get your property back, they were going to change the rules around that. So right now what it is that you could give them 60 days notice, and what you would have to do is you would have to give that tenant 1 month's rent compensation in order for them to move out. What they were trying to do was change it to 120 days notice and not have to give any compensation. Well, after these and other announcements like this, or rules were announced, or that they wanted to move forward, a few days after that, they had about 25-ish thousand people send in petitions of saying, we don't want this to happen. So they had a lot of pressure on them, and they caved almost immediately after that. So guess what? Rent control is going to stay in place. They are not going to be able to stop the tenancy after the 12 months. They are still going to move forward with some parts of this, and one part of it is still going to be to get the evictions done faster. So the cool thing about Bill 60 is that landlords finally got some rights. Typically a landlord would have had to wait about 14 days in order to start eviction process. Now you only have to wait 7. Also, landlord-tenant board, the people that work there, they're going to have less rights to use their opinion on what cases they want to like squash or whatnot. So there's going to be more of a standardized and predictable process with all of these things. Another thing over here is that appeal deadline. So once a landlord-tenant board makes a decision, you had 30 days to appeal it. Now it's only going to be 15 days. And the thing is that tenants, what they did before was that they got to the hearing and then they started to say, oh, well, this happened, all these other new things happened. Now you're going to have to pay at least 50% of what you owe that landlord in order to bring up new issues, which is going to be awesome for landlords. And the other thing is that if a landlord wants a property back for personal uses, instead of giving 60-day notice and 1 month of rent, now you only have to give them 120-day notice and no rent compensation. Now, you guys have heard me a lot speak from the landlord's perspective on some of these things, and I don't mind talking from the tenant perspective because we do deal with a lot of tenants and they should have some of these protections for them as well. But even speaking from like a landlord myself and looking at it as an investor and other people as well, in Ontario, I don't find it fair to basically say, I'm going to sign a 12-month contract to lease my property, and then basically I have to like figure out how I can get it back. I don't like that. Like if it's my house, I want my house back. I don't even care if it's like, for me, I don't think it even should be as like, I have to have you come out so I can occupy it. Well, maybe you just don't like that tenant, and I think that's your right. It's your house at the end of the day. You're the one taking all of the risk, but you have zero control about what's going on. So I think that's one of the things. I think rent control is another issue at the same time. I've actually been out shopping for real estate with clients that want to purchase these type of properties, but they will always ask me to check the date of when it was constructed and closed because they do not want to buy these properties that are under rent control. So that might also open up some demand over there. The way that things are going overall in the rental market, I think we're still going to see some shifts in there. CMHC was doing a lot of projects that they were doing like very, very cheap and low investment financing for people to build these rental units. There are developers out there that may not be selling so many pre-con condos anymore, that might be flipping some of these to rental properties or rental buildings. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to change in our rental market in 2026 and beyond. So it's going to be an interesting time to watch. If you are a landlord, this is the message I want to send out, because we had some of these this year. If you're a landlord that's holding what I'll call a one-door investment, and you're basically saying, hey, why am I holding this? We should talk, because I'm in that situation with one or two of my properties that I'm looking at pretty much dumping in the beginning of 26. We've done that for a bunch of people this year already so far, and I think that more will come up at the same time. So if you have this mindset of like, why am I actually holding on to this thing? Let's connect, let's talk, and let's figure out if it's actually worth for you guys to hold on to it. So give me a call, shoot me a message. Happy to connect with you guys. Hope you found this interesting and relative. Share it with your friends, like it. Most importantly, subscribe, because we have amazing content. Until next time, guys, remember one thing: get Cabani, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.